Hey YouTube, this is TCA Gaming. So I'm going to show you something pretty cool in this video. Some of you have probably already guessed which goal I have met by the title or the thumbnail, or you probably will have guessed by the beginning of the video if you remember the video where I had talked about my three main goals. The three main goals for my 2020 year, I had one of them that was getting a particular card in a particular grade, and it was referring to this first edition Charizard in Gem Mint 10 condition. So stick around and I'm going to show you that. But until then, we're going to do something pretty cool too. I don't know if anyone else has ever done this, but I actually have made a collection of all the Charizards in different grades that I could attain. So we're going to start off with the Poor 1. So this is the lowest grade you can get from PSA. And I actually have three different PSA graded Charizards right here. So this very front one, again, these are all graded Poor 1, but there is a difference on the stamp for each one of these. So this very first one, you may not be able to tell too well on camera, but this is actually a gray stamp. It's a lot more apparent in person. And all that means is the stamp is a lot lighter. From what I can recall at the moment, only thin stamped Charizards have the first edition gray stamp, and I'll show you what I mean by thin stamp. So looking at these, we have both a thin and a thick stamp. This right here, this much darker and bolder, with the one that has less white space, this is a thin stamp. And then the one over here that's less light and has more white space or orange space, I guess, for the background of the Charizard, that one is considered thick. So this is a thin stamp, this is a thick. It's referring to the width of the one. So the one is much thinner on this one. Again, both of these are Poor 1s. So we have three different Charizards already, and we're just at grade 1. Next up, I have a 1.5 Charizard. When I started this, I wasn't typically going for, look at that, $13.50. That's what it was for sale for at the Hartford Collectors event. I'm glad I did not sell it now because 1.5s are pretty tough to come by. But I had not planned on getting 0.5 grades along the way, but since I do have them now, I am definitely setting them back into the collection. So we have four different Charizards. Next up, we have a Good 2. This one I only have the thin stamp, and you can see right there, it's a pretty justified grade, pretty beat up. So we're up to 5 different Charizards now. Grade number 3, I have both a thin and a thick stamp. You guys can verify that there. So we're up to 7 different Charizards, all first edition base set. Next up, we have Very Good 4. So we have both the thin and the thick stamp. Verify the stamp right there. Now we're up to 9 different first edition Charizards. We are going to fill up this background. On to grade 5, we have both the thin and the thick stamp. You know, the condition's really starting to look a lot better. You see the stamps right there. And we are in double digits. We now have 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 of these first edition Charizards, all with different grades somehow. Maybe not different numerical, but we do have the 1, we have 2, we have 3, 4, and 5. Next up, we have a 6. This is a thick stamp 6. That's number 12 in the list. Next up, we have a Near Mint 7. Still moving up, we have a thin stamped first edition Charizard. Next, we have the 8. It's starting to look really nice. Getting down to just minor details that are really pulling away from the card. Other than that, you probably wouldn't even be able to tell too much difference between that and an 8.5, a 9, or even a 10. That's right. We do have an 8.5 as well. So we were at, what, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is number 15. Got the 8.5. And ironically enough, this was a 9++ at BGS. I tried to cross it over to a PSA 9. It did not work out. And after looking at the condition of the card, I do feel like it has been justified with the grade of an 8.5. Otherwise, I try regrading it. Next up, we have a PSA 9 Charizard. Now you're starting to get into really nice looking cards. Hard to find much wrong with it. Maybe one day I'll have it PSA encased into the new style. And then last, but most certainly not least, we have get that glare off of here. The PSA 10 first edition Charizard. Now the centering is off. It's not perfect. I was aware of this when I purchased it. I had chose from 5 different ones, and I chose this one because I like the condition of it. I believe the condition is very optimal. You can kind of see it there, and it is a thick stamp. That was also another perk of this one. Looking on the back side, I'll let you kind of see the corners and the edge. I mean, it just looks really, really nice. And that was the main reason why I went with this one, even though the centering is slightly off. The rest of the card just looks great. And I'm very happy with this purchase. So there you have it. Every grade, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 first edition Charizard with some extras in between, with variants between the thick and thin stamp, even a gray stamp on the 1, plus a 1.5 and an 8.5. So there is my Charizard collection that I'm still kind of working on. If you saw any in there that you may have and you want to make a deal with me, let me know. Maybe I can try to finish out the thick and thin stamps all the way through. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it.